See, it's a thing. You admitted it. Gotcha.
All right, come on, Lou. Let's go hang out with Evelyn.
Bye, everyone.
All right, guys.
Have fun.
Have fun. Up, come on. Wait, did I make sure I did the thing I was supposed to do? Because I'm OCD? I did! Yay!
I should keep this on the recording.
Yeah, you should. Totally. All right. Well, all right. I'm going to count us in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Podcast Recovery, everyone. We're your hosts, David O.
And Carly R.
And today we're joined by our very special guest, our very good friend, Dan B. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing well. You don't have to be so quiet. It's fine. Like
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
Gotcha.
Where are you from, Dan?
I'm from Glen Burnie, Maryland.
Where'd you?
Scenic Glen Burnie.
It's like you don't.
Glen Burnie.
You do not seem like somebody from Glen Burnie.
Yeah.
Like people from Glen Burnie have a type, and you are not that type.
Right. Yeah, I get that a lot.
You're more. You seem
like,
more
wait,
like
what?
Howard County, Carroll County.
Right.
Area. Like you're not.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
They're like,
that's a good
dude,
thing.
You look like you're from California or somewhere. No. Glen Burnie. GB.
Oh yeah. When were you first introduced to recovery?
So I was first introduced to recovery 1999.
Good God.
Yeah,
I was 8 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was
like,
12.
damn, I'm feeling old. Yeah, so I was 17.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's my very first introduction.
It's cool. We were both
Yeah.
using drugs by then, so it's cool.
Yeah,
It balances
so.
out.
Right. Needless to say, I did not stay clean since then. But
And that brings me to my next question. How long have you been clean?
so, 17 years.
Shoo.
What's your clean date? I need to write that down.
August 14th, 2004.
1404.
That's a long ass time.
Long ass time. So you're coming up. You almost have 20 years.
Almost, man. I'm almost a dinosaur. That's what they say.
Shit. Double
20
X
years
right
is,
around the corner.
Yeah, 20 years is
Wow.
dinosaur.
So you were clean when you were 22.
22, just before I turned 23. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, with all that out of the way, I'm going to turn it over to you to share your story with us. So take it away, buddy.
Okay, cool. So, I started using, early age. I was an early bloomer. Started using about 13. And
What was your first drug?
so, man, my first drug probably was alcohol.
What was your first drink? Do you remember?
So I don't remember. My dad drank the worst, cheapest beer you could get. So
Okay,
whatever.
now you're sounding like Glen Burnie.
Genesee, Genesee cream ale. Warm. Well, room temperature. So I used to see my dad drinking all the time. It was like, I don't know how old I was then. 8 o'clock? No, 8 years old, something like that. So.
That sounds horrendous.
Yeah, so, but my mom drank wine, so whatever
you could steal.
she could get, whatever kind of wine she had, the brown bag lady, alcohol was probably my my first drug, but I started smoking weed when I was 13, so anything I can get my hands on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, alcohol. 8 years old. I don't even remember how old I was. I was that young.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, continue with the story. Sorry to sidetrack you.
So, I just started using pretty young. Always felt different. I always felt I was the youngest of 3. And I always tried to be like them. I always tried to fit in. Tried so hard to be like my oldest brother. My oldest brother was my hero. And, tried everything that, went way out of my way to be like him, dress like him, listen to the kind of music he listened to, talk like him, act like him, all that stuff. So, I never really felt like I knew who I was. I never really fit in. Like, even kids, like I would go, somebody told me to run out in traffic. I would do it just for appease them, just to make a friend, So I go above and beyond to try to fit in and be a part of something. So
just early people pleasing.
Yeah, exactly, man. God, I remember elementary school, like trading, kids, just for them to like me, like trading, things that I had with it for the, stuff they had or whatever, and, stealing, all kinds of stuff, so acting out in all kinds of ways when I was a kid. So yeah, just tried to, find something to be a part of, because I never felt love for my family, really. I mean, they love me. They just love me in a different kind of way. So, just try to find outside things to find that kind of, belonging, and never really felt belong. I never felt like I belonged anywhere. So yeah, always trying to change what I felt, So yeah, it progressed, eventually, started out the weekends, and then eventually, every day. And I kind of remember the turning point when I was probably like 13. Well, I was probably about 15, because I was using for a couple of years at that point, and to where it was like every day. And it was like, this is how I want to live my life for the rest of my life.
Yep.
Full-time job every day, my whole life revolved around it. And I was like, I want to stay as high as I can for the rest of my life. This is my goal in life. And
it's so weird how so many addicts had that, we've heard it so many times in the rooms, like, I pictured myself as the old man in the rocking chair smoking a joint. And I think all of us had that at one point.
Yeah.
I definitely did, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It was like,
and Eric says that's your first surrender, is when you surrender to the disease. And I was like, oh, I mean, that's a surrender you make in active addiction. You just accept it.
It kind of, absolutely. Yeah. You're just like, this is my life, and this is how it's going to be.
Yep.
And
I'm
I surrendered
okay with it.
to, what's that?
I used to be okay with it too.
Yeah, we all did.
Yep. It was like, this is just how it is.
Yep.
This is who I am. I can't change anything. I can't change it. This is just my life.
Yep, this is who God wants me to be.
Right.
Yep.
Fuck it.
All right. Continue. I'm sorry.
So, no, you're fine. So, yeah, man. Accepted the fact that this is how I'm going to be. This is who I am. This is my life. And
what age did you say that was?
So, I was probably 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was an early admission.
Man, I'm an early bloomer. I remember a funny story. So I was in middle school. So my mom used to always threaten me. She was going to send me to treatment or whatever. She said, I'm going to put you on, Ritalin. You're so hyperactive and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, you're totally the Ritalin. You and I.
We were all that.
We're the Ritalin generation.
Exactly right. So she's always like, I'm going to put you on Ritalin. You're hyper. You can't sit. I'm like, whatever. So a kid in middle school, he used to get a pill on his tray, on his lunch tray every day. Yeah, and I was like 7th grade. I'm like, what is this pill on your tray? And he's like, oh yeah, they just this pill I have to take, they put it on my lunch tray every day, and I just throw it away with my lunch. And I'm like, do you mind, if I try? What is it for? He's like, just
I'll give you my nutty bars for your pills, bro.
Exactly right. Yeah, trading, man. Yeah, early on, trading, trying to match,
Yeah.
So so I remember taking this pill and feeling better, I felt like, wow, I'm in a really good mood all of a sudden, and I don't feel as bad as I did before, So that was an everyday thing for the whole year. I don't know, for however long. It's like that we had this pattern. You sit right across the table, and I'm just gonna every day, unspoken thing. Just I'll put my tray down. You put your tray down. I'll take the pill. And this is every day, for, I don't know, the whole year or whatever, a couple years.
That's wild. And the fact that they just put it on his lunch tray and just moved on with it.
Yeah, that's a very irresponsible way for the adults to handle that situation. Be like, he'll take it when he's ready. Because I mean, like, I'm pretty sure we've all been in treatment, or like, you go to your medication station. Here's a little cup of water. Here's your pill.
Right.
And,
Exactly.
like, open your mouth under your tongue. All right, you're good.
Yeah. Medication window time for get in line.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So crazy, and sure enough, it was Ritalin. You know what they were giving the kids? Like, hey, like I'm already self-prescribed, Mom. Like,
don't even waste the time.
Don't wait. I'm good. I'm already on it, Mom. So yeah, man. Just looked up to my oldest brother like he was my hero. So I never was able to think for myself. I'm always told what to do. Go here. Go. Wear these clothes. You got to have this. You got to do that. So I had a hard time learning to think for myself and making decisions. Indecision is tough. Is a big thing for me. So, growing up, parents alcoholics, and being exposed to that, and I swore I would never be like them. I swore I would never turn into be alcoholic. So I chose drugs. Primarily. I mean, I drank every now and then, but primarily I like drugs. So yeah. I mean, it progressed. Every day. Barely, skated through high school, barely graduated, never excelled, never had any dreams, never had aspirations. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Never, I didn't want to join the military. I didn't want to do anything to better myself. I just want to get high. I want to go hang out with the people who have the drugs, so it was like, so yeah, I mean, yep, that's how it was. And it was a blur. It's sad. It's really sad that I don't remember a lot of people from high school. Like, I don't remember a lot of that stuff. So, continued to use, progressively got worse. Like I was saying, I was locked up. I got locked up when I was 17. That's when I was first exposed to the program. Didn't want to be there.
What'd you get locked up for? Just possession?
So I got locked up for possession of marijuana and paraphernalia in a little bowl.
Yeah.
I got locked up. God, it's like 0.6 grams.
Oh, I know.
And I'm like, that's like, what? Like, that's such a joke nowadays. Like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, they threw me on the ground and like all this stuff. Like, it was bad.
Dicks.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. And I was so mad. I was so angry.
Yeah.
I was so mad. And I got locked up, and they put me in a drunk tank, and I just could not wait to get out. I could not wait to get back out and use. And I was like, I just got caught. You know what I mean? So, I wish, I'm grateful for all these experiences. You know what I mean? So I was exposed. You know what I mean? I was exposed to NA. And had to go to a outpatient treatment, whatever, for adolescence. I was 17, and I hated it. I hated everything, but I hated the counselor. I hated the whole thing. And like, first going to a meeting, and like, I don't really remember anything they said. All I heard was all the drugs that I didn't use yet. Yeah. And I instantly compared out, and they were laughing, and I'm like, what the hell is so funny? You know? And didn't want to hug, and it was just bad. And I met this dude. He was like 17, and he had 9 months clean. And I was like, mind blown. I'm like, you have 9 months clean. Like, that was just crazy to me that anybody could stay clean, even for like one day, not getting high. It was like, what? Like, you could.
Why would you do that?
Right. Yeah. Like, what? You're choosing to do this? Like, what? It was just so beyond my comprehension. Like, what? You're like, dude, we're like in our prime or whatever, like, we're just getting started, man. And so I was like, man, that's just crazy to me, And I'm like, wow, okay, well, so I did every drug that they didn't, test me for, they're testing me for marijuana and like alcohol, and I'm like, well, shit, I'm gonna have to start taking other drugs. So like, good addict, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I'm gonna take pills, I'm gonna do all these other drugs, and I did not complete that program. and man, I was off to the races after that, man. It was just something in me. I was like, I didn't accomplish it. Like, I didn't complete this program. And I was just like, something in me, man, just switched. And I was like, I was so angry. And like, my parents started getting worse, their alcoholism. And it's just like, man, it was so bad. So,
Now, is your older brother an addict or no?
So, borderline. He drinks still.
Okay.
And, yeah, I mean, he used drugs, but he didn't use drugs like I used.
Yeah.
But he still drinks. I don't know, like, what the definition, like, I don't know the clinical, what categorizes somebody as alcoholic, drinking alcoholically, whatever. Anyway,
so he's a normie.
He drink. Yeah, he's normie, but he drinks. When he drinks, he drinks.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, so I was, starting to hang out with people I never thought I'd be hanging out with, going places that I never thought I'd be going, and I remember, it started getting bad, and like, I was in and out of rehabs and trying to get my life together, and it was like, it started getting bad, and I'm like, maybe these people know what they're talking, maybe these people in the program, like, actually, maybe, like, let me give this a shot, you know what I mean? So, after, in and out of rehab, in and out, coming in and out, and it's like, relapse is definitely a part of my story. I first got clean. I was 19. I stayed clean for about 18 months, and I used, and then it really got bad between, I was like 20, between 20 and 22 when I finally, got clean. That's when it really started getting bad, and like, man, a lot of my friends started, ODing and going to jail, and I was like, damn, a lot of people, they either respect the disease or they fear the disease. And I had this fear. I had this like healthy fear of the disease. Like, damn, this thing wants my life, and I will go to jail. No question. I'm either going to be dead or in jail. No doubt about it. I am no different from all my friends in the neighborhood that are, still using and just going to jail. And I'm like, damn, there's got to be a better way. And I always kind of like, there's that scene in Dumb and Dumber.
Which one?
When Lloyd is like, they kind of had that turning point when they like hit bottom in their life, and they like, the bird dies and they're like trying to do something different, and I guess they get kicked out of their apartment.
Yeah.
So they're about to go to Aspen, and Jim Carrey's like, I'm tired. He's like, look out the window.
Emotional moment. He's like, I'm tired of being a nobody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude.
You can see the tears not.
Dude,
like every time plays Dumb and Dumber, but that's a real scene.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
I get chills just thinking about it.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, that is exactly how I felt. There's got to be a better way.
Yep.
There's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
A new way, like a different way. There's got to be a new way of life, man. And
Can I sidetrack real quick?
Sure, yeah.
So these guys, recently, they bought the actual mini bike from Dumb and Dumber, and they actually took the trip from, I think they were in
yes, dude,
like Missouri or Kansas, and they rode that mini bike all the way to fucking Aspen, and they like YouTube live the whole thing. It's hilarious.
Yes, Zach Quartz and Ari Henny. Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, those two guys. Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, they did that, and I have yet to see that scene, but I've seen that on there.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
Right? How cool is that they actually replicated that and they could do it? But yeah, man, that's how I felt. That was like my bit. That was my ends, and I was just, I'll never forget that feeling that I had. This sense of euphoria, like, man, I'm so done. I'm so done with my life and how I'm living my life, and that was the turning point, man. That's when I surrendered. Yeah,
I'm gonna sidetrack.
Yeah.
So like, I had that same feeling of like feeling like a nobody, but it just sank me deeper, dude.
Yeah.
Like, instead of like, oh, there's got to be a better way, I was just like, I don't want to feel like I was just like, okay, I gotta numb this fucking feeling. Like, I feel like a nobody. I feel completely depressed. I was like, nope, I gotta do more.
Yeah, so man.
It just spiraled, and I feel like that's a problem for a lot of people.
Totally. Yeah, the guilt and the shame kept me out there for a long time, because I come back in, tail between my legs, and like, yeah, how much time you got clean? 2 weeks, or however long you got clean. And, yeah, man. So that guilt and that shame and like hate myself, low self-worth. I absolutely wanted to die when I got clean, or right before I got clean. I was like, man, yeah, thank God I didn't have a gun, because I'm quite sure I would have ran myself. So, but yeah, I mean, we killed ourselves slowly with drugs, so that was kind of like our, but we self-medicated, it's like the drugs maybe kept me alive. I've heard that. I don't know if you ever heard that before, but like,
I think
if it wasn't for the drugs, man, I probably would have definitely killed myself. But
it was a coping mechanism.
Absolutely. Yeah. So from Ritalin and sipping my dad's warm beer, that was the ends, man. And I swear it was the last time I was going uptown, and I told my friends, I was like, man, I'm done. I don't know what you're going to do with your life or what you're going to do after today, but I knew. I was like, man, something came over me, man. I just had this moment of clarity, that I'm going to, I have a life that's worth living. So, and it was tough, man, because I was young. I still had friends that were getting high, friends that were using. And like, I took it a step further, I started using hard drugs, and like a lot of my other friends, they just stopped. They stay with just weed and alcohol, and it was like, I couldn't do that, man. And like, I get it when they say like, the drugs stop working, but it's not that the drugs didn't stop working, it's like, I still had this sense of like, the void or whatever pain, deep-rooted stuff that I had inside of me, man, was still there. So it's like, I need a new drug because these drugs aren't working anymore. So it's like, I need a harder drug because these feelings, deep-rooted emotions, man, they just keep creeping back in. It's like,
but I would never abandon the other drugs. I would just add. It was just a cake. I was just adding layers. I was like, man, the weed and the alcohol aren't enough. I'm like, well, what about cocaine and copious hallucinogens and pills and all this? And I was like, all this shit, just fucking mix it together. Cocktail this motherfucker.
Totally. Garbage head. Yeah. Absolutely, man. In the end, it was like, what do you got? I'll take whatever you got.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you're in recovery. How do you get from the beginning to 18 years?
Oh, man. So the road is rocky.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's been up and down, man. But, I took all the suggestions, I got a sponsor and started hitting meetings, started reaching out, started calling people, started making friends, man, getting a hobby, trying all these new things. And, working the steps, absolutely. Transformed me to be, the person who I am today. And it's been up and down, but man, you learn from all these kind of experiences, life experiences, and stay clean. And like this guy told me when I first got clean, it's corny. Some people say it's corny. It's like the Stuart Smalley, like, you're good enough, you're smart enough, people like you. So this
doggone it, people like me.
Right. So this guy gave me a suggestion. He's like, man, look at yourself every day in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm not going to use no matter what. So I'm going to stay clean no matter what. No matter what happens in my life today, I'm going to stay clean. And I did that shit, man. And that shit, me too. Dude, that shit worked. And I'm like, man. So like these positive affirmations, man, they still today continue to work in my life, man. I'm just telling myself like, no, you can do this, Dan. Yeah. Like, no, like, you want to live your life, man. Like, do it. Like, you can do it. So yeah, like, yeah, man, working the steps and, getting a sponsor and applying spiritual principles in my life and practice, man. The key is practice. Practice. So yeah, man, just continue to stick to the basics. And I'm still trying, sticking to the basics. It's like, God, just go to a meeting. Yeah. Just go to a meeting. And
open your mouth when you need to.
Right, exactly, man. Sharing, because for a long time, I feel like they tell you in treatment, like, take the cotton out of your ears and stick it in your mouth, and I'm like, Dude, that shit kept me quiet for a long time.
Yep.
So I ran with that. I'm like, oh, I can just stick it here, stick it out of my mouth, and I don't have to say shit.
Yep.
You know? But dude, that shit killed me, man. Like, I gotta share where I'm at. I gotta share what's going on and opening up. And I mean, that's our medicine, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's our medicine is sharing.
And in early recovery, it is terrifying. I know you have gone through that, Carly, where like you feel that internal like pressure, like I feel like I have something to say, but I'm terrified to say it.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there like in the meeting and you're like trying to share and your heart's just pumping and like it's 50-50 whether your mouth actually opens or not in early recovery. It's tough.
Man, there's so many times I'd be sitting in a meeting, I'm like, all right, after this person shares, I'm going to share.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Dude, I hate and you're like, God, it's like self-chatter, like this monkey mind chatter.
You're listening to what that person is saying at that point. You're like, I don't know what they're saying. You're because you're running through your monologue. Okay, what am I going to say? I'm going to say this, and then it's going to go to this subject, and that's how I'm feeling today. And yeah.
Man, so locked and loaded in like my mind, and I'm just like, oh, God.
Yeah. It's just like it's your stomach getting ready to vomit. You're just
absolutely. I was just gonna say that, dude. There's been many times where I'm like, I'm feeling I'm gonna throw up right now.
Yep.
God, man, fear, you know. But gosh, it's like such a relief, you know, the pressure.
Yeah.
And after you share, it's like, man, it's just a relief, you know. Like, I just got to put that shit out there. What's in my mind and on my heart, I just need to put it out in the meeting and let it be, you know, and let it go, you know. And writing is kind of does the same thing, you know, putting everything out on paper, you know, and just write about it, you know, and getting honest. So yeah, man. Yep.
All right. Well, we definitely have some questions for you.
Okay.
Would you like to go first, Carly?
No, I'll let you go first, David.
Thank you. That was clearly rhetorical. So I've heard it said before that like really like the turning point in anybody's addiction is so in like early addiction, it's very inclusive using. Like you're using with your friends and it's like we're all sharing stuff. And then the turning point is when you don't want to be social with people and you're using when you're alone. So is there some truth to that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, God, I found myself a lot of times using, by myself all the time, and like I would like prep, like I would prep by myself before I went and hung out with my friends, and I would show up to the party already, fucked up all the time.
Yes.
So yeah, and then in the end, I mean, it was a lot of that alone, and isolation.
Yeah, and the reason I ask that is like it's. Anybody who's listening, if you're at that point, that's something to look for that like, this is a problem. Like, this is no longer like, oh, I'm a social drinker. It's like, no, if you're drinking a fifth of vodka by yourself in your apartment, you probably have a fucking problem, dude.
Yeah. There's a sign. Yeah, for sure. That's a red flag. Definitely, man. When you're, alone in a bathroom, locked up.
Because that's when it's most dangerous.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because nobody will find,
Yep.
Nobody's going to find you.
Yep.
Nobody's going to, you're alone in a bathroom. Yep. Many times. Yeah. So absolutely. Yeah. Isolation.
Stay with a chaperone, everybody.
Right, for sure, man. Yeah, you need like it's almost, dude. You know what? It's almost like you need like I've fallen and I can't get up. Like life alert, bro.
I have wanted one of those since like my mid-20s. I'm like, what if something happens? I was like, I don't know. It's not just old people who fall and break their hips.
My watch tells.
You have a life alert on your phone?
No, so the Apple Watch. It'll come up. It's like if it's like a hard movement or something. It happens all the time when I don't fall.
Are you dead?
But it's like we think you have fallen. Like, are you okay? And it's like ask if I want to call 911 or like no, I'm okay. And then I have to say whether I fell or not. I guess it helps.
Wow.
But it like
that's a good thing.
I don't think I've ever fallen when I've gotten the alert. I've been doing something else and I move my hand a certain way and it like will ask.
And anybody out there, Siri is not a drug buddy. Neither is Alexa. They're not your buddy. They're not going to hit you with Narcan.
Right.
Like, are you dead? And you're dead.
Yeah.
All right, Carla, what do you got?
So you talked a lot about wanting to be like your brother. So what did he think of your drug use, and like what kind of effect did that have on your relationship?
Yeah, so he joined the military. So he's 10 years older than me. So he joined the military, so he was out of the house. He was pretty much out of the picture. So he didn't witness a lot of the hell that we were going through. And, I mean, he was just, kind of like, damn, that's crazy. That's sad, and, I guess, he was always there for me, and he, he took me to drop me off treatment a couple times. I remember one time he waited in the ER with me, and,
Nice.
Yeah, him and his wife, and they waited for me to get checked in, because I was like, fucking lost my mind, man, So he was always kind of there for me, supporting me in my recovery, and he's like, man, yeah, you do what you got to do. If you need to go to meetings, that's what you need to do, and so yeah, he's always kind of been there for me. He's like, I have my family, my blood family, and then we have NA family.
Yeah.
And, he loved me, but it's just like, he loved me different, so it's my first sponsor, man. He was like, man, I believe in you, Dan,
Who was your first sponsor?
So my first sponsor is this guy named Wesley.
Okay.
Wesley S. And,
Weeping Wesley?
Weeping Wesley.
Oh,
yes,
Weeping
dude.
Wesley.
So Weeping
He's
Wesley, dude. Yeah. So he.
Have you ever heard of Weeping Wesley? Okay.
So, dude, Wesley, man, thank God for him, man.
Great program,
dude,
amazing speaker,
dude.
but he's gonna cry.
Right, absolutely.
Which is great. I love it.
Dude, he was like, man, I love you, Dan. I'm there for you, bro. I support you, man. Like, you got this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking? Like, dude,
what
I've never
are you seeing? Yeah.
Right. I've never heard this kind of talk ever in my life. Like, my parents said, they love me. Just, they love me in a different way. They didn't love me like NA, like, oh, we love you, bro. Give me a hug, man. I love you, bro. I'm like, what is this embrace? Like, I'm like, dude, I'm here for it. Like, I'm all about the love, man. Like, dude, like, it's like, oh, man. I'm like, I've been waiting my whole life to hear this, dude. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I still, dude, oh, my heart, man. Like, Wesley, man, he's, he
legend of the Maryland area.
Absolutely, man. So Wesley.
We should get him on the podcast.
Oh, dude.
Wes would be amazing.
Wesley absolutely would. He would be honored.
Oh, yeah.
So, he carried me through. Yeah, man. He was my sponsor for like my first 5 years of recovery. Yeah. But yeah, man.
Didn't you have Old George at one point?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
Old George is great.
Old George, yeah.
I gotta make sure I'm still acrobatic between the ears. I'm doing a lot of those mental gymnastics. Yeah. Oh my god.
Check your cranium.
Check your cranium here.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Old George?
I don't know who you're talking
It
about.
looks like Santa Claus, and
Then maybe I have.
That was a spot-on impression, by the way.
Thank you. I've missed my calling. I'm like Dana Carvey or something, sort of like impressionist.
Okay,
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, man, my brother, he's he's always there for me, So yeah.
Nice.
And it's funny, he's my hero. I was like, always kind of struggled like with a clean date, and I was like in and out. I'm like, oh, I need a cool like clean date, and come to find out, I was like, I was getting clean. This last time it was August 13th, 2004 when I, my last day using, Friday the 13th, and next day was August 14th and my brother's birthday. So I was like, oh shit, man, what an awesome connection, like
there you go.
My hero, his clean, his birthday, my clean date kind of, it was like my birthday, so I was like, oh, cool, man. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a little first full circle moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is going to be a fun question. So
okay.
This is going to be a new running thing thanks to our other friend, Christina.
Oh.
We have come up with what is called a
donkey moment.
A donkey story.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you've listened to her podcast, but at one point she was so high that she abducted a donkey.
Oh, what?
And was walking down the road.
She left her dog and took the donkey.
Yeah, left her dog, took the donkey to like a gas station, which is leading this donkey down the road in like Anne Arundel County.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's just a wild story moment.
Okay.
So let's hear your best donkey story.
Oh man. Okay. Well, so I was at this rave.
That's a good start.
Starts, right? I'm at this rave, right? So I did a lot of club drugs. Like I love that stuff. Yeah. So I'm at this rave, and my buddy was there, and I knew he had some acid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, he's like, he already knew, like I knew he knew him. I'm like, man, he's like, oh, I got some. I was like, yeah, give me some.
Yeah.
And like he gave me entirely too much, and it was in a sweet breath bottle, and he gave me an entire squeeze of a sweet breath bottle like in my hand. So I don't know how many liquid.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I did that shit every weekend but this one time it just took me over the top. It took me over the limit, right?
Yeah.
So oh God, my stomach's already starting to like flip a little bit just thinking about this stuff, man. Oh God. So anyway, yeah, he gives me this acid, right? And you know, you're kind of at this point where you take too much, you know, and that was definitely a moment where I've taken too much, right? So,
there's nothing you can do. You just got to ride it out. Right.
And like, I'm like at this rave, I'm DC, at DC Armory, and, yeah, man, and like my friends are trying to like control me, and like my friends' girlfriends are trying to like babysit me, kind of like hold my hand and make sure I'm not like going off the hook. And like I'm dancing and going crazy and running around the place and jumping around, and I felt like I'm jumping like 20 feet in the air, and like, dude, sweating. But man, it's bad. Oh, just the freaking dirt. Oh man, the scene, like the whole scene, man. And anyway, so you know, I'm hanging out with my friends, and we get back to the house, and like I'm not sleeping, like
no,
at all.
Of course not.
So one day goes by, I don't sleep, and then the next day goes by, and I don't sleep, and like eventually, like I'd go home. So I go home, and my mom is like, "What's wrong with you? Like, what's going on?" And that was probably the worst thing I could do is go home, because my mom's drunk, my dad's drunk, like it's a shit show at home, and there's nothing really positive going. I mean, you know, my room is like my little sanctuary at home.
Yeah,
and so yeah, man, and like I told my mom what I did, and my mom was like, "What you do? Like, what did you take?" And like I told her, and she's like, "Well, how much did you take?" And like I just started like counting on my fingers. I just keep counting on my fingers. She's like, "Oh my gosh!" So she didn't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
So next thing you know, I'm in the van, and we're going. They take me, and they're like, take me in the van, and I guess they like try to take me to like the hospital. And like they didn't know what to do, and like when somebody's on acid, like dude, there's nothing really you can do. You just need to like talk somebody down.
Yeah.
So their solution is take me to Shepherd Pratt.
Okay.
In Towson. Now Shepherd Pratt, for everyone listening, Shepherd Pratt, it looks like a castle. It looks like this. It's like an evil Disneyland looking type of place, right? Disney World. It's like. It's not enchanted. It's like, dude, what is this place you're taking me to? Like this gothic castle. So they pull up, and they're like, all right, pack your bag. Like I had my bag was packed, and dude, they sent me, and like I'm like, what is this place? So like the regular elevator was down to get like on the unit, and they like checked me in. So they like took me on the freight elevator. Now a freight elevator, it's not like your normal elevator, right? No. And I'm on a stretcher. And like, or no, I'm in a wheelchair or stretcher, and like the gates close, and it's just like, like, oh my God, like what is going on? And man, I ended up on the unit and Shepherd Pratt, and it was definitely a wild experience, man. And everybody was a cop or a narc, and like I had all these characters like picked out, like this dude's a narc, this guy's a cop. This guy's a firefighter. Like this nurse dressed in all, like she was wearing this. I remember this lady wearing this black dress, and she looked like a nun almost, dude. And she's like, take this pill, and like all this pill, and I don't know what, I forget what it was, but it's like supposed to make you sleep, right? Because I couldn't sleep. I'm awake 3-4 days at this point. So she like just try and give me this pill, and like it knocks me out just for like a half hour, and then I'm like wide awake again. Like, you know what I mean?
That just added to the cocktail.
Man, so yeah, dude, it was wild. It was wild, and like it was definitely like cartoon, like crazy.
Oh yeah,
freaking crazy.
Because once you're sleep deprived, it adds a whole other layer.
Man,
dude, it like turns into like Inception. You're like, am I in a dream? Like, you're like,
dude, totally.
Like you question everything about reality.
Yeah.
It's a total fucking trip.
Yeah. So the guy, like, I woke up one night. It was like 3 a.m, and I come out, and like this guy's like reading, this old dude's like reading a paper under this like lamp, and he's like telling me about like the theory and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, what is going on? But yeah, I didn't go outside for like 2 weeks. I was on that unit for a long time.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's my rave experience. That's my last experience with that. Yeah.
Wow, that was intense. All right, what do you got?
Sorry.
I'm still waiting. We're still waiting for Carly's donkey story. Yeah. It'll come out one day.
Maybe. We'll see. So we hear a lot about like complacency in the rooms. How do you keep your recovery fresh after so much time?
So a lot of times, what I would do is, my pattern is I will get a new home group, and I switch it up. Like, I don't know. Like, I've never been somebody to just like stay this is just how it's worked out for me in my recovery, where I've lived many different places. I've lived in many different areas. So like I'll switch it up. Like I will get a new sponsor. Like I've had like 5 sponsors since I've been clean. I've had 5 home groups probably since I've been clean. Like I just switch it up and like make it like the newness and freshness of recovery. Right. So yeah, I've been in complacency, not necessarily relapse mode, but I've been complacent in recovery before for probably like months, 3 to 6 months, where you're like,
it's just stale.
Yeah, and you're like, there's no newness, the monotony and just boredom and like all that stuff sits in, and you're just like, man, like this is like same shit. Like this is like, dude, I don't want to go to a meeting. Like I just want to sit home and on the couch. I just want to veg out, but you got to really like, I need to recharge, So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll force myself to like go on a retreat or go to a convention or do something like that, because I'll feel it, and I'm like, man, I need retreat. I need to go somewhere where I'm just like, I need to focus on my recovery. I need to be surrounded by people in the program for like a couple days and just do nothing and like get recommitted to the program. And like, that's kind of where I'm at right now, actually. I mean, I'm working all the time, and like, I'm working like nights shift and day shift. So I'm like trying to find like this balance, so I'm like, I need to hit a meeting, man. And just this simple thing of just going to a meeting is just like, ooh, I needed that boost. I needed that. Not even necessarily sharing, just go to a meeting and get a hug and just sit and just like, just that action alone, man, that will just be like, go to a meeting and just don't even say shit to me. Just give me a fucking hug, man. Like, that's all I need. And like, wow, sometimes even that can bring about this like, I'm right where I need to be. I'm right where I'm supposed to be in my recovery. Like, this is what I need. Like, I need this. So yeah. Just trying to remain vigilant and aware of where I am in my recovery, So, absolutely. So yeah, that's what I do. I force myself sometimes to like, I'm fucking weird. I'll fucking force I will deliver.
We know you're weird, Dan.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely weird. I'm definitely a strange cat, but I will like be GSR. I will volunteer to be GSR because it forces me to be a part of.
Even though you really don't want to do it.
Even though you really don't want to. God damn it. Somebody will text me, right? Like, hey, I got H&I commitment coming up. Like, do you want it? Like, God damn it, yes. And you're like, yeah, because I know this is what's going to happen if I do it. It's going to force me to be involved. It's going to force me to be uncomfortable and getting out of my, get out of my comfort zone, because that's what I need. I need to stir that shit up. I need I need to put some action, I need to bring about this, I need to stir it up a little bit, man. So that's what I do. I'll be, I'll volunteer, and I'll just like, yeah, this is what I need to do. And they're like, what? Okay, you want to be your you want to go to your service? Okay.
Yep.
And I'm like, damn it.
Yep.
But this is what I need because it's saving my life.
Absolutely.
So.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what. That's what I do.
Yeah. And really quick, we did that this past week. We went to that DAA meeting that we were talking about.
Nice.
And because I'm going to call you out a little bit in a loving way.
Okay.
I've seen you be like monotonous in a meeting, and like, because you've seen me there as well. Like, we're just there, we're just showing up,
going through the motions.
But like, dude, Carly's ears were perked up, like she was in it, and I was like, it was so cool because I was too. Like, it was really a cool, refreshing thing. One of the things the guy said is, he's like, I'm not going to survive off the bread that I ate last month. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, yeah. It's a simple, stupid saying.
No,
but
totally.
Yeah, like you're not going to live off last year's recovery, last month's recovery. You got to keep it. And I love the fact that like we're both open to like, go check out a new fellowship. Like it's not going to hurt you. Like if you're in NA, go check out DAA. Go check out Refuge Recovery or like Celebrate Recovery or Smart Recovery. Don't cut yourself off to I have to go to the same meetings constantly. You don't even have to go to the same fellowship. Change it up. Go learn new things.
Yeah.
I think Allie's going to a Dharma recovery meeting Monday.
Dharma recovery.
I think that's what she said.
Okay. Yeah, she did say that. Yeah, she mentioned
that's cool. That's probably
yeah.
similar to Refuge Recovery.
Yeah, and I think it is. Maybe they're just calling it Dharma Recovery. Yeah, but I'm not sure.
Because he wrote Dharma Punks.
Exactly. He wrote
book.
Yeah.
Which is a great book. I recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, I've read that.
I actually went home Friday and picked up my step work for the first time in 6 months. So that was Thursday night, and then Friday it was like, all right, let's fucking do something.
Yeah. Nice. Sometimes, man, there's just life experiences that will bring about this like fucking, I need to do this shit. Like
when you can't light a fire the same way.
Right.
Yep.
You gotta have this like this drive, and sometimes life experience, when shit hits the fan, what are you gonna do? And there's kind of like, I need to do this because my recovery is at stake. My life is at stake still. You know what I mean? Like I can revert back real quick. No question. Not even necessarily the drugs, but the behaviors, and the thinking and all that stuff. So it's awesome, man. Like it's really refreshing. So you were talking about different fellowships. So like I've been, so I started doing like Al-Anon because my parents and stuff, like I'm an adult child, alcoholic stuff. So man, that's a whole, how refreshing.
It's a whole different view.
Oh, man, what a breath of fresh air for me, dude. Like what they were talking about there is what I wanted to talk about my entire life. Like, man, So so I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Like I've always been one to go to a meeting by myself. Yeah, where I don't know anyone.
It's tough for me, but occasionally I have done that throughout my recovery. It's hard.
It is hard, but man,
I know I usually have to have a spotter. Like I'm
really? Yeah. Everybody's different, man. Like like Allie, she'll be like, like some people just do it. Some people don't. Like I don't know. I'm like a wanderer. I'm like a just explorer. Explore and like meet new people and hear new things.
I gotta go with a buddy because if I'm going down, I'm taking somebody with me.
No, that's good though. But hey, man, at least you're willing to, you know what I mean? Do that, man. A lot of people just stay stuck, and it's like this revolving door. It's like the same and that same. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's some rolling like same. Like I had to change. I gotta change, man. It's constantly. I love that saying what you said about the stale bread. You gotta go where you can grow.
Oh, I'm writing that down. You gotta go where you can grow. That's the name of this podcast. Okay.
Hold on, I'm going to cut you off. Okay, now that you've been going to Al-Anon, are you going to work that program as well?
So I've thinking about doing that because they have like their own step guide thing or a step, however they work the steps. And I met this guy from Pennsylvania, and I've called him a couple times, and man, you just connect with people, like because I was going for a while, and it was hard to kind of like connect and like relate to people, or because it's it's primarily female, like older, females that go.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to find like young people. There's like no young people at all, hardly. And I'm like, man. So I met this dude, and I'm open to that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of other areas, deep rooted stuff that I have to address that I could totally benefit from that. Yeah. So no, absolutely. I'm open minded and willing enough to do that, because some fellowships you don't find that stuff. You don't find these other areas in your life. Like you try to talk about, hey man, your mom ever like drink and like yell at you all day, or verbally abuse you and shit? And it's like, no, a lot of people have never experienced that, but it's like, man, just to be able to relate to somebody on that kind of level, it's like, oh shit, okay, you get it.
Yep.
You get it. So man, there's been, so I started going out like 8 years ago, but I haven't really been consistent with it. So that's the recharge I need right now in my life to get back into that. But thank God for AA too, by the way, because my mom is like 20 years sober. So
fantastic.
That's awesome.
So she's found recovery. Absolutely. Yeah. So I was kind of the
seed.
Yeah, I was kind of the catalyst for her recovery, because I ended up going to treatment. She dumped me off as a brat, and then she came to visit me drunk, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So it's like, thank God for that. So we kind of like, help each other.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Family recovery is always cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, you have 18 years. Allie has 12?
Well, I have 17. Allie has...
That's 11?
How many does Allie have?
11?
She is 11.
11.
She'll have 12
January.
Okay.
Yeah.
So...
I'll have 18 in August.
Okay. So, how is it because what I have written down is relationship with a quote unquote newcomer, because you have a lot more time than she did.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like you have quite a few years more than she did. So getting a relationship in recovery with someone with less time.
Yeah, so I had 5 years, and I was definitely clean and crazy. I was definitely off the hook, and
we know Allie.
Yeah,
she's always crazy.
Yeah,
she's 11 years and crazy.
Right.
Love you, Allie.
Leave my sponsor alone.
Is she not crazy?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we're all crazy.
In our own way.
She winked at me, Allie, when she said that. Just so you know.
Aren't we all mad?
Yeah, she did.
Isn't that a...
Yeah, we're all mad here.
We're all mad here.
Yeah, this is just, we're all at Wonderland. That's
right. So, it was interesting because Allie worked like all 12 steps in her first year, I think, out of this.
Jesus.
Oh, that goody.
Yeah, so she's
Allie, you overachiever. If you're going to listen to this, and I know you are, you're just such an overachiever, and we love you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, so she was doing some work, and I'm like, wow, she's like really involved, she's like working the steps and got a sponsor and like staying clean. I'm like, wow, just because I had 5 years, and I mean, I didn't really start working the steps thoroughly till I had about 6 years clean. So yeah, man, so it was like I had more clean time, but did I have more recovery? I don't know. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the thing. Like, yeah. So it was different. I mean, she wasn't straight. I mean, I think I waited at least for a year to get her first year, but still, yeah, it was different. But it wasn't that different because she had so much recovery. She had literature, reading literature, writing steps, and all this stuff. So she didn't feel like she was new in recovery.
Yes,
if that makes sense. Yeah. So. Yeah, she motivated me to quit smoking, actually. Yeah, because I smoked when I met her. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh shit, she doesn't smoke."
Yeah, this chick's for real.
Yeah, I'm right, and I'm like, "Damn, she quit cigarettes."
Yeah,
and she's new. What?
Yeah.
What? That's how do you do that? Right.
Yep. Overachieving.
Yeah,
she's just going for that NA merit badge.
Right.
She's
the trophy.
Yeah.
But she's earned it. She's definitely grown, no doubt.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was any like thoughts in your head like, oh man, I got 5 years, or like anybody looked at you weird, like, dude, like she's only like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, people can do that.
No, totally, they definitely can.
And there's some prowlers out there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, some snakes, but but yeah, man, I mean, I didn't really feel that vibe. Like, hey, man, you're 13 stepping.
And you guys have been married for how many years now? So, clearly.
Yeah.
So it was, what, 8? Or 8 years, it'll be 8 or something?
Yep, September will be 8 years. Crazy, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, So...
And marriage is a whole nother... It's like, hey, you want to test your recovery some more? Get married.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yep.
Like, the relationship was one thing, and then, like, oh, man, now I'm, like, legally bound to this person. You're like, oh, my God.
Yeah. But it's a blessing, man. You know, it's like a sacred thing, man. You know, marriage. It's awesome. Yeah. Always learning, always growing.
Oh yeah.
Always learning about yourself more than anything. If you know what I mean. If you're willing to do that, look at yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're both humans, and like, I mean, I'm only 3 years in, and still I'm like, wow. Well, 7 years into the relationship, and you can see things that like I'm exhibiting now that I wasn't exhibiting year 2. So it's not just dealing with their evolution as a human, you're dealing with your evolution as a human, and it's a constant mix and match of trying to figure things out, and then life is going to throw a million fucking curveballs all the time at you, like getting a new puppy,
or a new baby.
Oh, I know. And it's just being willing to grow with each other. It's just
totally, man. You roll dog. You know, you ride or die.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You guys are a team.
Yep.
You know, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it work. So it's kind of a mantra. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Never forget your wedding day.
Oh yeah.
Never forget your wedding day.
Yeah.
That's what kind of brings it all back for me, man. If you're like down and if you're, you know, having hard times, just remember the wedding day.
Okay, now the fun part to this question. Do you ever have like that moment where you're like, this fucking bitch?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, all the time.
We've had this conversation, like, because I've had it with Allie as well. Like, she's a controller. She wants to control things, but she'll hold it in until a point where she snaps, and she's like, I'm snapping at Dan, and how can I snap at Dan? He's amazing. I'm like, yeah, what are you doing?
Right.
What's wrong with you, Allie?
Right. Yeah. So she's, there's been moments. Yeah. I mean,
you have it with your husband. I have it with
we all have moments, man. There's no such thing as perfect marriage. You know, there's no such thing as perfect. Yeah. You know what I mean? Anything.
How dare you?
Yeah. So but I do that under my breath sometimes. You know, things like that. Yeah.
And I know you do that with Gary.
Oh yeah, all the time.
This son of a bitch.
Yeah, you gotta have an outlet, man. You gotta have a healthy way to blow that steam off sometimes. You know what I mean? And verbally, it can just cause more damage. You know, and you don't want to make more amends. So it's like, do I really want to go there? Is it that important?
Oh yeah,
dude. Al-Anon taught me so much with that stuff. You know what I mean?
All right.
Is it really worth? Yeah, going down this road. But anyway, marriage, man. Yep. It's awesome.
Yep. You got one more?
Yeah. Just piggyback off of that. How do you and Allie stay in your lane when it comes to recovery and like each other's recovery?
So we don't sit next to each other in the meeting. Well, we do sometimes. No, we sit next to each
sometimes.
Other.
Anniversaries.
Yeah. We'll sit next to each other sometimes, but like we won't have the same home group. We've never had the same home group. How do we keep our recovery separate? I mean, I just focus on myself and she focuses on herself when we kind of meet in the middle somewhere, you know what I mean? Like as long as she's, you know, working the steps and calling her sponsor and going to meetings and doing what she has to do. But yeah, I mean, we call ourselves out on some stuff every now and then. Like, man, you need to like maybe start to hit a meeting or something, or you should go to like
someone needs to write a gratitude list.
Yeah, like I don't think we've ever said you need to call your sponsor. Yeah, like we've never really said that, but we've kind of
you bounce things off each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, hey, what do you think about? You know, like, hey, I'm thinking about going to this meeting. Hey, you should, or you know, I'm thinking about asking this person to sponsor me. Yeah, they would be good, or you should. Yeah, like. So we always kind of give each other a
nudge,
and, you know, a little loving elbow that we need, you know, like, hey, what's going on? When's the last time you went to a meeting kind of thing, you know? So So yeah, definitely encourage each other, but keeping it separate. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what step she's on. So, I mean,
that's perfect.
Yeah, like
that's the way it should be.
Yeah, right. It's kind of
if you're in a relationship pulling each other's inventory, you're like, this probably isn't good.
Yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, like I just focus on me, for the most part. I try to. So yeah, I don't like to go. Yeah, get involved too much, but still involved. Like hey, what's going on? So yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah.
All right. And my final question is a two-parter. Okay. So first part is going to be the most difficult thing you've had to go through in recovery. And then the second part is the most rewarding thing you've gone through in recovery.
Man.
And you can't say marriage because we beat that horse to death.
Yeah. So
sorry, Allie. You're not the most rewarding. You are. We'll go with no one too.
All right. So
difficulty.
Man, difficulty. Oh man. So when like right around 6 years, I was clean, clean and crazy, like I was sharing, and it was the end of a relationship. That was probably the hardest thing that I had to go through in my recovery. And I had 6 years clean. I think I only worked probably like 4 steps at that point, and man, I had a really hard time with that. The end of that relationship, and I was definitely in relapse mode for sure in that point. So yeah, I don't know if I want to go into the whole story, but it was a very bad, dark, doom and gloom place that I ended up in.
I've been there.
And I was there for like months, and it was weird. And I'm like, why am I not getting better with this? Like, what's going on? And there was something in me, like this void still that was like, I wasn't able to like fill this with an outside person or anything. So like, I really turned to like the program after that. And I remember I was like house sitting in DC for some friends, and they had like a liquor cabinet, and there was like, they had dogs. I was like dog sitting. And it was New Year's.
There's that isolation piece.
Dude, I was by myself, and I was alone for like 3 days in DC. Nobody's going to know. There's a liquor cabinet. I'm fucking crying, bawling my eyes out. Fucking want to hate myself and want to die all over again. Just how it was when I was using.
Yeah.
And, man, so I did something different. And the one thing I did different was I called my sponsor, which I had never done that before, and, there was like a talent show going on in DC. So I actually called the hotline after I talked to him, because I was like, man, I need to get out of here. I need to go be around people and program. So there was a talent show thing going on in DC. It was like a little event. There was like a speaker jam. So I went there. I fucking dumped and threw up all over I didn't know anybody. Yeah. Dumped all over the meeting. And went to the talent show thing, just was around people. You know what I mean? So that's how I got through it. I called the hotline, and I'm like, look, this, I'm from Catonsville, whatever. I live, I'm in DC. I need a meeting. What's going on? Like, help. Like, I need help. And so yeah, and I started going to meetings. Like, I was done. Like, I was done with recovery. Like, I was so done.
Yeah.
After getting through that storm, man, I just gained so much more, recovery from that, because I thought, shit, if I can get through that, I can get through anything, and I was like, fuck, if I can survive that and stay clean. That was definitely a turning point. I was like, man, so it made me stronger, and I didn't realize what the hell was going on. Like, dude, this is going to make me so much stronger, spiritually, mentally, like emotionally, like, so that was like the hope and the faith that, wow, I can stay clean no matter what, right? Like, that was the shit. Like, damn, dude, I can stay clean no matter what, and I can get through things, and it will pass. Like, this too shall pass. Like, all these simple, cliches we hear, and we're like, what does that mean? Like, you're new, and you're like, what the hell does that mean? This too shall pass. Like, it really does pass. Like, this isn't permanent. This is going to pass. Like, this stuff, it does get better, and you can survive your emotions. Yeah. Even though you don't feel like you are. Oh, yeah. But you do what you got to do. You got to cry. You have a good cry. Like, I still do that shit. Like, and I'll feel it coming. Like, I'll feel this, like, man, this overwhelming stress that I just need to relieve, like,
Yeah.
and like just cry, man. Just watch a YouTube video that'll make you cry or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, dude, that stuff helps, man. Like, we need that release. Like, we need that to relieve that stress and that pressure, man. Because it's like, dude, life is hard, man. Like, life can be hard sometimes. So yeah. So that was my experience with that. Getting through that, and man, what a turning point. And that was where I, brought about what is the line? And there's a line about it brings a more rigorous action of our program, a relapse if we survive it. And that was like a turning point. I was like,
yeah, because you can have a mental, emotional, spiritual relapse without using. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then hit that bottom and come out clean.
Yeah, and I was like, man, thank God she did that for me.
Now, most rewarding.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, man,
Now, is that also is your most difficult also your most rewarding?
Man, I guess it could be. Yeah. I mean, I had a friend that went back out using too. That was hard too. And I mean, that was probably just as hard.
Oh yeah.
As that relationship thing, because my friends are my friend, like my road dog, like my boy, like dude, we're in this, like we're staying clean. We got clean. That like, so that was tough for me too, man. A friend going back out was like, I had a really hard time with that, man. I felt like my dog died. Yeah. After that happened. Yep. And so yeah, man. But yeah, once again, you survive it and you get through it. And this is recovery. And this is life in recovery. And the one thing that my sponsor told me, that stuck with me, he was like, dude, I can't believe this is happening. Like, what's happening? Like, why is this shit going on? Like, this isn't supposed to happen. But like, this is recovery. Like, it's supposed to be good all the time. He's like, no. He's like, welcome to recovery. Yeah. And I'm like, God damn it, you asshole. Like, that pissed me off. I'm what do you mean? Like, this is recovery? Like, this is,
I swear to God, Herb loves telling me the things I don't want to hear.
Oh, God,
secretly,
dude,
I think he fucking enjoys it. Because Herb will always preface it. He's like, listen, I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings, but...
Right.
And then he'll just fucking...
Oh, that's a great way to go into
Herb
that. Like,
starts like half of his sentences that way.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, don't take this the wrong way. Or I'm going to say this and it's not going to sound good.
Right.
Like, that is Herb all over.
Yeah, that's totally... that's a great way to do it. Like, start the conversation how you want to finish it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But he just straight up was like, "Welcome to recovery," and my sponsor was
"Welcome to recovery, dum dum."
Right. And
what do you think? That's sunshine and rainbows, idiot.
Right, dude. Oh my God, that's how that's kind of how he was, because he was going through like a divorce or like his second divorce or something crazy in his life. Yeah. He's like, well, welcome to recovery. And I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's a key part of everybody's personal recovery is managing our expectations of recovery. Because a lot of the time we have that sunshine and rainbows. Right. Everything's going to be a pink cloud from here on out. Right. That's not life. Right. That's not life. Your parents are going to die. Your friends are going to die. You're going to lose a job. You're going to things are going to happen in your life, and that's recovery. Yeah. That's life. So it's managing those expectations about what recovery is supposed to be. If you go in with the mindset of this is going to be difficult, then you're probably in a better mindset of, oh, this is just going to be great. Right. This is going to be amazing. Right. Because when you get disappointed, you're going to be fucking rocked.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, and you're like, man,
what do I do now?
Yeah, and So yeah, you learn from it. Take it as a learning experience. These are all learning experiences that we have in recovery that, we can get through things. We can survive. So we're survivors, man. Absolutely. And God, coming to the other side. So all of a sudden, like, shit started like. It's like, what is it? I can see clearly now after the rain is gone, that song. Yep. It was like, that's what that shit, this is recovery, man. Like, I can see so much clearly now. Like, I'm out of this storm. And, like, billboards, like, even, like, a billboard or a commercial, it's like, wow, this makes so much sense. And, like, recovery's, like, all around you all the time. And it's like, man, what an awesome spiritual experience, And so, yeah, it's so cool to, like, get through it and then have this, like, epiphany and, like, these wake ups, these little spiritual, experiences. So, so yeah, man, I guess that could have been, one of my, best experiences in recovery is come through it and like surviving that and then having this little awakening,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, life is awesome,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right. Well, do you have any more questions?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well,
Well,
Dan,
that.
we would like to thank you for joining us. Woo!
Hey.
We want to give you a quick minute to talk to anybody out there who needs to hear that quick message of hope, that uplifting, whatever,
Sure.
that positive affirmation. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, gosh, like I said, we can do it. We can stay clean no matter what, and we can go through things and go through life, and life is worth living. We have this we have this spirit in us that we can live far beyond our means. We can do anything that we want to do as long as we have this drive, we have this tenacity that, damn, we can be anything we want. We can have dreams and aspirations, and we can live our best lives, and it's not easy all the time, but man, we can get through stuff and we can have an awesome life and we can live life to its fullest. And God, don't let these roadblocks stop us, man. We can be free of all that kind of stuff, all this self-doubt, all this self-loathing, all that stuff that we can get through it, and we can have a life beyond our wildest dreams. So cliche, but it's like, dude, that shit is so true. Like, I had no idea I would be where I'm at today. From Shepherd Pratt, fucking on this psych unit, B2, behavioral observation psych ward, to fucking all this stuff, man, and like having all like awesome like relationships, man, and just like peace of mind, quiet mind, and like it's like so awesome. So yes, it's possible. Recovery is possible. Recovery is available in your community. And it's worth it. Absolutely, your life is worth it. So yes, that's what I got.
All right. Well, here at Podcast Recovery, we are aiming to expand the scope of support for recovering addicts. Accessibility and convenience of helpful services is paramount to combating addiction. We work to bring the message of recovery to every addict, wherever and whenever it is needed. We believe that a powerful voice of recovery should be obtainable, practical, and at the touch of a button. Every addict deserves to hear a message of hope, and Podcast Recovery is here to provide it. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us once again. Please help become part of the Podcast Recovery family. Go to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, like, share, subscribe. If you'd like to be part of the home group, please join our Patreon and help keep the mics on, because we are self-sustaining. But most importantly, everybody out there,
Stay safe and stay clean.